Azores, a Portuguese archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean, which this year is home to the 4th round of the Intercontinental Rally Challenge. Fresh from their first win of the season in the baking heat of Brazil, Peugeot UK Sports' Kris, Meeke and Paul Nagle head to the Azores in joint second position in the championship. Kris, looking back to the last round, it was your first win of the IRC season in Brazil. An awesome result. It all happened so quickly though, I'm not sure you had time to take it in. When you got home, what was the reaction there? Yeah,
it's always the same when you travel far away. You don't really appreciate what you've maybe done till you get home. So it was a fantastic trip. First time in Brazil, and to experience a rally like that, where we didn't know what to expect arriving, and to find stages some of the best we've ever done. It was fantastic, and definitely we left there with a big smile on our face, and especially now when you look back and you have 10 points in the bag for the championship. So we have to try and carry that forward to this rally. Now this is a gravel rally, but very, very different to Brazil. Tell me why.
Yes, it's gravel. It's completely different in nature. Brazil was fast flowing, big undulating crests, and you know, this is completely different. It's narrow, very, very deep gravel, slippery, very fast in places, but then it can turn a corner on very, very slow. First, second gear for 10 kilometers, and then very fast again. So very technical rally, and you have to think a lot and be careful and try not to make a mistake. But in this type of technical rally, it's so easy if you get into a wrong rhythm to lose time constantly, because there's so many more corners. It gives the opportunity to lose more time, or in the other way, you can gain more time. But also we have the Skoda team here as well, who proved very quick in Monte Carlo, so we expect them to be fast. But it'll be interesting, a different challenge, but we're looking forward to it.
Paul, we're standing here in gorgeous sunshine, but it is starting to rain. The clouds are gathering. It's a bit of a strange mixture of weather, a bit like being at home for you, maybe?
Yeah, the stages are very like Scotland and Ireland. Saturday ones especially very, very narrow, so you have to be careful. You can pick up punches very easily. As on the recce, on one side of the island, it was all rain, heavy clouds all day on yesterday, and then when we come back here to the super special, the sun was out, so tyre choice and conditions are going to be very mixable. Typical tropical island, really.
I had to look at a map, to be honest, to see where it's coming to before I left the house, but it's an interesting place.
A lot of cows.
A lot of cows, a bit like Ireland, and it's incredible. You do get this, the cows tend to, on the road, like they do in Ireland, can make it quite slippery, but similar nature to back home.
The event's ceremonial start took place in the centre of Ponta Delgada on Wednesday evening, with hundreds of people out in force to see their rallying heroes. Many more are expected on the stages this weekend as the 4th round of the IRC gets underway, with the promise of it being one of the most closely contested events of the season to date. The opening day of the SATA Rallye Açcores began under cloudy skies. But nothing could dampen the spirit of the competitors, eager to get their teeth into the 9 stages that lay ahead. A short super special stage had kicked things off on Thursday evening, and as the opening stage of day 1 got underway, Peugeot UK's Kris, Meeke and Paul Nagle were in second position overall, just behind Kronos teammate Freddie Loix. Loix, however, picked up a puncture on the opening test, and by the end of stage 2, Kris had moved into the lead over Juho Hänninen. Stage 4 was the final test in the morning's loop, but as you can see, it certainly wasn't plain sailing for the boys. A hasty wheel replacement at the side of the road, and then they could head for service.
Leave it. We're still fastest.
Kris, big dramas at the end of this stage. What happened?
Second last corner. It's a flat out 6th gear corner, and there's a big stone in the grass. We didn't see it on the recce, and luckily it's damaged the rim and not the suspension, but you know when your luck's in, that happens. But okay, we just have to keep the head down. We have a little bit of a lead, but it shows you how simple it can happen. So careful from here.
And they were fastest through that stage and led the rally by 13.2 seconds over Nagle.
Paul, back to the safety of service after what was a dramatic stage 4. Before we talk about that, talk us through the morning before the dramas of the wheel coming off.
Stage 2 was a very, very slippy stage, a lot worse than we thought. And we stalled in one junction and just was too slippy, couldn't get stopped, and the car locked up and we dropped 2 or 3 seconds, but we still had a reasonably good time. And Freddie had a puncture on the stage as well, and the dust was hanging in the air for us, so we dropped maybe a couple of seconds with that as well, but reasonably good. Stage 3 was a fantastic stage. We drove exceptionally well inside her, and Juha went off right in the flying finish and hit the back of the car. Stage 4 we clipped a stone about 6 corners from the end and burst the rim, burst the tyre as you see in camera, and it dropped us 1 or 2 seconds. We're still fastest and we're leading by 14, so it's been a pretty hectic but exciting morning.
It must have been a shock to see that wheel go in front of you.
It was a little bit of a shock. It's always a bit of a drama when a wheel passes you, but no, okay, I say sometimes luck goes with you and sometimes it goes against you, and on this occasion it's with us, and we have to make the most of it now.
The afternoon test took the drivers out towards the east of the island for 3 stages before they went on to repeat the morning tests. Kris was quickest through a total of 6 stages on the opening day, and apart from the errant wheel, there were no other problems. The final stage of the day was delayed after Juha Hänninen rolled his car and blocked the stage. The drivers had a long wait until it was restarted.
Kris, you're in the lead at the end of day 1, but it's been a long wait to start this one.
Yeah, it's been a long wait there before the end of the last stage. Hänninen unfortunately had an accident, but no, it's been an excellent day. We'll have to wait and see what the time's like for this stage. I think it's reasonably good, but a good day at the office. But you know, same as Brazil, we've built up a bit of a lead now. It's maximum concentration to try and keep it there for tomorrow.
4 wheels on the wagon this time as well.
4 wheels on the wagon.
After the final stage of day 1, Kris and Paul hold a lead of 40.2 of a second in their Peugeot 207 Super 2000.
Kris, it's the end of day 1. It's been a dramatic day. There's been a bit of luck thrown in, but a lot of skill. How are you feeling at the end of it?
Very good. To be honest, I didn't expect it to go as well as it has. I said yesterday that it was all about trying to stay out of trouble. We managed to do that. Okay, on stage 4 we hit the left corner on the last corner of the stage and had the problem with the wheel, but lucky to get away with that and happen where it did. But you know, you have to, when you get a bit of luck, you have to make advantage of it. There's plenty of times I've been on the wrong end of the luck. So, but okay, it's been very good. And on the last loop of stages was particularly good. The car is feeling fantastic, really nice and simple to drive. And when you've been over the stages before this morning, there's no reason why not to continue at good speed to try and increase the gap for tomorrow. And now it's a bit like Brazil, we have to try to manage the gap tomorrow.
Tomorrow we have 2 21k stages, which have never been done before, and on the recce it's another side of the island and it's very, very slippy and wet inside there, so anything can happen tomorrow. But we have the 40-second lead. It's up to us to mind that now and keep the head and lose time again like we did in Brazil, but on the second run just to consolidate it again.
It's always the question, isn't it, how much time is going to be enough? In Brazil it was less than that. Kris has told us that he is planning to not go quite as fast tomorrow, but we're hearing there might be some rain forecasts. That could make things trickier out there.
Yeah, but in another hand, if it's raining tomorrow, if you are first on the road, it's like an advantage. So it's quite the exactly what we want about the weather for today dry, tomorrow rain is good for us. So I'm quite confident.
After a total of 10 stages, Meeke holds the lead with Nagle in second and Jan Kopecki in third. Day 2 beckons with 8 stages waiting patiently for the drivers. Saturday morning in the Azores, the final day of the 4th round of the Intercontinental Rally Challenge, and it was time for the rain to fall. Strong winds and driving rain were prevalent on the opening stages of the morning, making conditions treacherous for the competing crews. Peugeot UK's Kris Meeke and Paul Nagle took a 40-second lead into the final day and were first on the road, which in dry conditions could be a distinct disadvantage, but stage 11 overall was far from dry.
Kris, truly atrocious conditions. You're first on the road, how was it?
Very tricky with a stretch of cobblestones in here, and it was like being back in Monte Carlo. Zero grip, so I took it very steady. I think I got near enough the maximum grip. If anybody tries to take a chance, I think there's going to be a poop, but okay, we're still here and I'm happy.
Kris set the fastest time on the opening 3 stages of the morning to take his lead to 1 minute 5.9 seconds. But a battle was raging behind for second as Jan Kopecky moved ahead of Nagle. The repercussions of the rain from the morning were felt in the afternoon. Despite the weather improving, news came in that the final stage would be cancelled as the road was heavily waterlogged. The 21 kilometres of stage 17 would be the last of the day, and Kris and Paul brought it home for Peugeot UK.
Kris, your second win in a row for the IRC, you must be thrilled.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Boy, well done!
Very difficult weekend. Tricky rally, but okay. We were able to set the pace like Brazil, and today in these conditions it wasn't easy controlling it, and I have to say I rank this one above Brazil. For everyone was here, the Skodas and Fate and everyone, so fantastic, absolutely incredible. Now it sets us in right shape going to tarmac, so we'll see.
Championship title, you've got to be thinking about it now, surely.
Yeah, for sure, it's put us right back in the hunt. We have 2 maximums now, and with the drop source system coming into account, we're sitting pretty good at the moment, but hey, it's a long way to go.
Awesome result, well done.
Thank you.
Paul, yet another awesome result for you, a great win here in the Azores.
Yeah, near perfect rally, probably sweeter than Brazil, with all the competition we had here with Skoda and all the local boys here. And Kris drove absolutely inch perfect from the first stage to the last corner. We led the rally from start to finish again, same as Brazil. And he was in a class of his own this weekend.
Pretty good lead going into the final day. Were there a few nerves this morning though?
Yeah, a small bit of nerves. The weather was not too good. Lots of fog, lots of rain, but we drove steady, middle of the road, no problems. A couple of bumpers, that's all.
So as you say, a little bit sweeter than Brazil then maybe?
Just a little bit sweeter. 2 in a row is very good.
Kris, we caught up with you at the stage end. You've taken now your 2nd win of the IRC series. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, it's incredible. To be honest, we had, the last stage was cancelled. We had about 100 k's to do on the way back in, right a full lap of the island, and it was the most enjoyable 100 k's I've ever driven. Sitting with a smile on my face, but no, it's fantastic. I definitely didn't expect to come here. As I said before, this rally is a completely different challenge to what we had in Brazil, and to be able to run at the front and control it is very, very satisfying when the conditions are so tricky.
That's been a strong field of competitors here. It must give your confidence a boost to know that you were the quickest man out there by a long shot.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say with Skoda here, Arbath and Volkswagen and everyone, all the contenders here, so it's very, very satisfying, I have to say.
Looking ahead to the next round now, we move away from gravel, of course. How are you feeling about that?
Okay, I enjoy tarmac as much as I enjoy gravel. I seem to have just clicked with this car on gravel, so hopefully now we can do the same on tarmac, but it's going to be difficult for me, to be honest. We have 5 European tarmac rallies now, which I've never been to before, and all the guys have done it 2 or 3 times and they have good pace notes and everything, so it's going to be difficult, but all we can do is make the most of now and look to the future.
Mark, it's 2 out of 3 for Kris. It's a fantastic start to the season. Did you imagine he'd pick up 2 wins so early?
Honestly, yes, because I know how quick he is, and I mean, I was quite confident before the season with Kris because I know him for a while, and I know how strong is the 207 and how the reliability of the car is good. So, but anyway, the other cars are very strong also, the other drivers, and he deserves a lot, and together with Paul, because we don't have to forget Paul together with him. I think both of them make a great job this weekend, and because the weather condition and everything was very difficult, and at the end, okay, the 2nd victory in a row and leading the championship. This is very important for the future.
Kris finished 53.1 seconds ahead of Jan Kopecky, with Nagle taking 3rd. It's been a dominant drive by Kris and Paul this weekend, and maximum points now puts the pair in the lead of the championship. The IRC heads next to the tarmac of the classic Ypres Rally in Belgium in mid-June. But first, after 17 stages, it's time to taste the spoils of success.